Episode 715 of the Thiccc Pod, your home for all things sports, cards, and levity. I am the host of this beautiful creation, Jeremy. You can follow me at Reckless Cards. I am joined by my handsome, luscious, thick, beautiful co-host, Manny. Good evening, young man.
How are you? I'm, like I said, Wednesday. I'm so excited right now. I get to join with the Reckless family and talk sports cards. I always wait every week for this moment to see you guys, and it's the best day of my life.
Yeah, well, CBS called. They said the ratings are down. You need to get some heat in there. And so we had some guests, and so we thought, what a better way to do it. No better way to do it than to bring on the beautiful, charismatic, kind, thoughtful, sweet, sexy, beautiful, Reckless Courtney. And I want to ask you one question and one question only. Do you have a man?
I do. I do have a man. He's on this podcast right now. Weirdly, his name's Manny.
Look how if you're not watching on YouTube, you should see how much Jeremy's blushing right now. His favorite episode.
He used the same adjectives to describe both of us, so I don't know.
Well, he didn't call you thick.
That's the first time.
Yeah.
I think one of our first interactions was like, hey, bring your thick ass over here. And that was a term of endearment because I love my wife dearly. And because she loves the movement. She has been behind the Thiccc movement. You know, the world's falling apart. Things are going chaotic, and she's buying Thiccc t-shirts because she's like, oh, your name was in the way. Your name was in the way. Court didn't see the thick part. It literally just Thiccc.
Thiccc. Just showing off my boobs on the thing. There you go.
Courtney's not just like supportive. She's actually been our backbone. She's helping us with TikTok and marketing like our brand. She's on our Instagram. She basically, if you're talking like DMing us on TikTok or anything, it's most likely Courtney. She's our backbone. So we got to give credit to Courtney for everything. She pretty much pushed us to do this podcast too.
I know it was going to be good. And it's been better than I thought it. Than my wife. You know, when you have like an expectation for something and then it's like so much better than your expectation. That's what this has been. I'm super proud of you guys. It's so good. I enjoy every episode.
Thank you. And I know what scared you is Jeremy doesn't like anything. So you're probably thinking, man, Jeremy's not going to like this after episode 1. He's not going to like Manny. We're going to have to get a new co-host. But I think Jeremy's starting to like me. He's laughing right now. I don't know if he actually likes me now, but he doesn't answer my calls. So.
He doesn't answer my calls either. Don't feel bad. I always get the can't talk, call you in 5. And then an hour and a half later, I'm like, it's been a long 5 minutes, my guy.
I don't know if you know, but he told me today, he was like, all right, I got to call you at 2 or 3. And we're going to go over the show. I got to call at 7. And he's like, all right, these are the topics. I'm going to go on hobby school. And then I'll call you right before hobby school. And he calls me 10 minutes before hobby school. And it's like, all right, you ready? I was like, what are we talking about? Jeremy's
That's
awesome.
Because when we do anything like this, I'm the one that I send the questions. I set the schedule and everything. So with him and you kind of being in charge of that, then I get on him. I'm like, well, are you guys doing this tonight? And he's like, I think so. And I'm like, I need to know. So you need to find out.
Well, I've reached a point in my life. I've reached a point in my life where I legitimately need an assistant, and I need that person to as everything comes out to keep it in track. And I am a complete and total system and process guy. And anybody just has to deal with me. Then that's why I'm probably only have Courtney in this world, is because I'm a psychopath. I told Courtney, I'm hard stop at 2 o'clock. Hard stop at 2 o'clock. I'm done. This is what we're doing. And it was 7 o'clock. And she's like, I thought you said 2 o'clock. I'm like, well, it's 2 o'clock somewhere.
He told me the same thing.
He told you the same thing? Did he also be like, well, you seem like you're being standoffish today, so I'm just going to work longer? Because that's what he tells me. like, oh, Manny, I know you're always cheerful, but I feel like you're being standoffish. So that's why I didn't call you until 10 minutes before we went live.
And then I see on his Instagram story, he's eating dinner and drinking beer with other people. I'm like, come on, Jeremy, you don't want to call me?
Mm-mm.
Part of the gig, man.
Cool.
Part of the gig.
Cool.
I got to pay the bills to keep my wife happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's out buying. Yeah, she's out buying $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 hobby boxes of Stranger Things of shows I've never seen or know nothing about.
We'll get into that. You spend $500 to $600 on Starbucks, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, he has to give
up
his.
What the fuck is going on? This
Starbucks hobby or his Starbucks habit, so that I can buy Stranger Things covers.
The only reason I brought it up is because Jeremy, I've never seen him angry except when Starbucks is closed. And I got nervous, actually. I saw that post, and I was like, I'm not talking to him until he talks to me. I don't want to get in trouble by him.
There's just there's only a few things that bring me joy, and I look forward to coffee on a daily basis. I truly do.
So you want to know how important this is? We're going to the National. We could not book a hotel for the National that didn't have a Starbucks in it.
What? Wait, you guys, I thought you're in the same hotel as me.
I don't know what hotel you're staying. Maybe not. I'm not sure.
Wow.
But for a long time, like the kids would always ask, like, why do we have to stay at a Courtyard Marriott? And I'm like, because of like, well, first I'm part of Bonvoy and they take care of your boy, but there's always a Starbucks. So I know I'm going to have good internet, a good nice shower, and most importantly, Starbucks.
It really depends on the Courtyard and the city you're staying at, because I've had a couple that didn't have internet or a good shower. So
not me.
Well, let's talk about the National. I want to get Courtney, because Courtney is going to be one of the main attractions at National. No, you are. You're gonna be on the main stage.
No, I'm not doing the main stage.
Oh, you're not doing the main stage?
No.
Oh, I was planning on having Jeremy on my shoulder, and he was gonna show his boobies to you. Like
I was gonna do the main stage, but it ended up that they decided to do a live podcast from the National instead, rather than being on the main stage, which was totally cool, and I'm very excited about that. And I'm not even 1,000% sure of the timing or anything, so I don't want to talk too much about that until I know more. But I definitely will when I have more. Well, but we are setting up and doing lives at the National, a lot of them. So
yeah, I will say for you, Court. This is my wife. I'll go first, Manny. Thank you. No, I would say I actually thought last year when the main stage was set up in the Breaker Pavilion, and I found it really difficult to hear anything. So I actually think from like the perspective of like people being able to consume it, I think a podcast will be better, because then also it'll be recorded and it'll be able to be shared. So I don't know, maybe that's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to be set up. I personally have never been to Atlantic City. Initially, we had planned on bringing the two bigger kids, but everything that I've read and heard is that Atlantic City is kind of like a not really great place for kids, not, in general, but like for kids. And last year when we were in Chicago, that's home for us. So we're real familiar with the area. And, we brought, we were in the area was nice and safe, and we have family that lives there. So the nighttime things, if we wanted to go to like one of the cocktail meetups or whatever, the kids are older teenagers now. So they're fine staying, at a hotel or whatever. They could, like, grandma lives like 3 blocks away. They can call her and be like, hey, I'm freaked out. Come get me, whatever. Didn't happen. Amelia's an absolute beast when it comes to being responsible and mature. But this year, we're doing a lot more after hours stuff this year than we did last year. And the thought of just like leaving them in a hotel, even at, 16 years old, made me uncomfortable. And we're too far away from home, in Atlantic City to just do something like that. So unfortunately, a Little Reckless and King Stephen are not coming to the National this year.
I'm kind of bummed, because I was going to use your kids to get good deals.
You got to use Amelia. Amelia's the one.
Have her walk around and get me good deals, because I can't do it myself. Wednesday, you guys are doing hobby night school or hobby school night, right?
Yeah, we haven't promoted that yet. This is like breaking news. That's awesome. No, go ahead. It's fine. We can break it on too thick. Yeah, we're doing hobby night school from the National and the women in the hobbies booth 5020. We'll be there from 6 to 7 p.m. on Wednesday. We are going to go live with Love What You Collect. That's Erica and her daughter, Natiri, and they collect together, and they collect mostly women. So I thought it was well suited. She won the tickets to the show from Sarah Layton when she teamed up with the National to give away tickets. So her and her daughter both get to go. They get VIP tickets, everything. And so we're going to have them join us and sort of talk about what it's like to be, women collecting women. And I think it's pretty cool. And I'm excited to do it.
That's awesome.
I'm hopeful that they have the most incredible experience, because a good experience at this event will lead them wanting to do more. If it's just a crap experience, that's a quick way to have people not want to come back.
Well, they get to be on Reckless. I have presents for them. So I think they should have a good time. I hope they have a good time. At least Wednesday will be fun.
Mm-hmm. It's cool that you guys are starting it off too. It's like you guys are the kickoff. It's going to be, I think you guys are going to kill it, to be honest. I'm pretty pumped. I'll be at the table just cheering you guys on in the background. Throw my normal jokes in, but probably through the chat. Are you guys going to do an Instagram live?
Yeah, we're going to do it live from the booth. So I don't know. It's our first time ever doing on-site hobby night school with a live guest with us. I ordered equipment and stuff. I don't know what we have to do it from our phone. So I got like lapel microphones and shit. So we'll see. Well, am I allowed to swear? I'm sorry. I don't know what you're
not on this show. Not on this show.
Only Jeremy can swear. He yelled at me last time. So
no,
we could swear. No, what are your guys' other plans? Like, what is Courtney? And I don't care about Jeremy. What's Courtney's plans? Like, are you going there to PC and find any cards that you?
I don't buy at the National. Okay. I know that sounds ridiculous because it's like the biggest card show, but we have spent so much time buying up until the National that at the National, like last year, we left the National to go buy cards somewhere else because a lot of the times people who are selling there, they bought and bought and bought and bought and bought all the way up to the National to go to the National, and then they need to make that like money back, which is totally reasonable. And it's understandable, but it's really hard to find. Like, you see a lot of cards. Like, I go, it's almost like a museum to me when I go. It's like you see like bats signed by Mickey Mantle. You see jerseys. You see cards that you will never see again. They're like basically, museum quality cards. And so to me, it's more like an event. If I buy something, if I'm doing some kind of something, it's at the trade nights in the after hours, because there was one card at the National last year that I wanted to buy, and I was like, oh, it's too expensive. I'm gonna think about it and come back, and then it was gone. And that same card that I could have got for like a fraction sold for like 50 times that much. So maybe I'll buy something. I'm not going into it with the like idea that I'm going there to shop. I go there to see all of my card people that I never get to see in real life. I'm going there to talk about something that I'm passionate about. I'm going there to, see things that I wouldn't get to normally see, like i.e. the cards and the memorabilia and all the things that like everybody brings to this one spot where we can all enjoy it together with other people who like care about it. So that's more what the National is for me. And I know like everybody has their own take or view, but for me personally, I'm not going there with like, I'm looking for this card to buy, I guess.
Oh,
I am looking for Stranger Things boxes, though. I will look for those because they're so hard to find.
Yeah. Well, if you see a Lance Bass 101, I bet you're breaking the bank to buy that.
I might. It might be like, so I guess I would be looking at pop culture cards while I'm there, just because all the card shops around us and everything, that's not the card shows. That's not something that I see very much. Although last year at the National, I didn't see a lot of that there either. But it is something that I think if I see it and I would potentially buy that, just because it's not readily and easily accessible around here.
So two things. One, I think it's fascinating that we're both going to the national. And when I say we, Courtney and myself, and then Manny, you with different strategies, you've been getting liquid, accumulating funds to go and make a big splash, where we have been buying up into with no expectation of buying. Now, I will say there is one card we would potentially buy, but that's not at the national. We could get that. There's a card that Bro Namath has that
I'm taking
if things break our way, we're gonna try to make a play for that card. Otherwise, unless it's like small cards that are just like cool or for a nostalgic reason, we might make some moves at trade night. But yeah, definitely just gonna walk the show, network, look at cool stuff, and just truly like there was that case. It was nothing but Kobe autos, Kobe inserts, Kobe refractors, and I still remember it vividly. I've never seen so many Kobe autos in one spot, and so I just like to take it in and take in the moment. Like I found looking at cards at the National was an unenjoyable experience because everybody stinks, everybody's rude, everybody's walking around with travel luggage, knocking you over, and it's like you always feel like you're in somebody's way. So that was my big knock last year at the National.
That kind of makes me, because this is my first National. I'm not expecting anything. I think the good thing was buying up to the National and using that as like trade bait when you're at trade nights, right? That's probably the best option after I'm thinking about it. So I totally went the opposite way. So
the cash is king too. Like it's not, I think people think trade nights, you go in and you trade card for card. A lot of times that's not what happens. A lot of times if you have cash, you can, buy a card that you want and at trade night, sometimes you're going to get a better deal than you would at the actual show because they don't have the overhead of the booth and, wanting to like make their money back for what they spent on their tables. I'm going to tell you, trade nights are epic. Like you've never been to a trade night like the ones at the National. It is people in hotel rooms and hotel lobbies and just spread all over the place. And I'm interested to see what it's going to be like in Atlantic City because there's like casinos and it's more of like a nightlife kind of thing where, the Rosemont area for Chicago tends to be more, chill. So
yeah, because people are going to have stuff to do after the show with the casinos.
Always.
So I wonder
Can I share an embarrassing story?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love it.
So we went to the National and we had I would say, what we would consider a small bankroll. And so on day one, we're like, okay, everybody talks about getting liquid and selling some cards. And so we had a bunch of cards that we had plenty of upside on that we were willing to sell at, let's say, 60 to 75%. But we didn't know the etiquette and how to go about that. So I would walk up to a table and I wouldn't do the, hey, are you buying, just bluntly, because in my real life, everything's very prim and proper. And so we were like, man, all these people are selling stuff, people waiting in line at Mealy Pops, people waiting in line at Card Collector 2's booth. And like we left the show and went and got dinner and we're slightly, I don't want to say, I felt slightly discouraged because I'm like, I'm an adult. I work in a professional setting and I can't figure out how to do this. So we went to that trade night and then the trade night was complete. Like there is no, it's just like throw your cards on a table. There is
like laying on the floor.
Yeah. There is no like system. And like, so we were just standing there and I'm like, Court, what do we do? Like I felt so out of place and I like immediately, and this is just me as a human, I was like, this isn't fun. This is lame. Let's get the hell out of here. Finally, we got a table. We put our stuff out and I swear in about 2 hours, our bankroll went from small to we left like, holy shit. Like that was a natural holy shit. Plus we've got some cool damn cards. Get back to the hotel at 3-4 o'clock in the morning, completely in awe of just what happened. Like, because now you got a wad of cash, you've got these different cards, and we're a couple years older than you. So like staying up till 6-7 o'clock in the morning is not the norm anymore. But the excitement from like, okay, now we kind of feel how it goes. It made like the following day 2, day 3, and day 4 that much better because we had a better idea. But yeah, I walked the show not knowing how to sell a damn card.
That's funny that you say that because I do that at every show. I have cards, but then I look at the table and if they're not saying they're buying, I don't have like huge, like thousands and $1,000 cards. And when I see like tables that have like those type of cards, I get nervous asking. I don't know why. I get nervous asking like, hey, you want to buy a Neymar? Like it could be a soccer card. There's like $100 card. Do you want to buy this? I get nervous. I don't want them to be like judging me for my cards. I don't know why I think that way. It's funny that you say that because me, like all of us three of us, we're not nervous people. Like we'll go and talk to people, but when you get that aspect of like showing your cards and then people shitting on it, it gets like, oh no, I don't want people to shit on my cards or like look through and be like, yeah, not interested.
That happens all the time though. You have to steel yourself for that because it will happen. I think the good thing, Jeremy and I are like, we're a good team.
Yeah.
In that I don't have shame. I have no problem walking up to a table and being like, this is what I have. Are you interested?
Yeah.
I really want this card. Can we trade? Or like, hey, I picked these up. I'm looking to sell this one. Mm-hmm. And I don't have that like innate like feeling because of what we're selling oftentimes I'm not attached to. Yeah. If it was a card that I was attached to and somebody was like gonna crap on it, then that would bother me. But I'm not going into these shows with the cards that I care about because I don't bring cards like that to these kind of things, because often if you bring a card that you really care about and then you get in the heat of the moment and then you trade it off or you sell it for like less than what you really wanted for it, or maybe you didn't really want to sell it at all, but somebody was like, hey, I want that one for this card. And then like when you look back, you're like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have made that trade. So anything that I'm like really attached to, or I would like be upset about somebody like having an opinion about it one way or the other, I don't have that with me. And so I don't care. I need
to do like think that way. You know, the only people that don't think that way are kids.
That's why they crush it.
Yeah.
That's why they crush it.
I sit at your guys' booth sometimes when you're at card shows, just like observing, because you guys are always buying. And it's kids that like, they don't have shame. They'll buy your or get a free mystery pack from you guys, open it, walk around like you forgot, and then come back and be like, hey, you want to buy this card? And I caught Jeremy saying, didn't you just get this from our mystery pack? And they're like, yeah, but do you want to buy it? Like, I don't know how they do this kind of stuff.
Their brains are still smooth. They haven't like developed shame yet. I have, I did
that skill though, real quick. That skill will help them when they get out into adult life, because so many of us, myself included, are crippled by the fear of rejection that it controls us. And so I think it's like an incredible lesson, because you'll watch these kids do a trade up challenge or go start with 100, end that night with 1,000, and they're relentless. And at the end of the day, nobody's going to be like, haha, Jimmy got rejected 100 times. All people are going to remember is Jimmy went from 100 to 1,000 and the kid works his ass off.
It's true. Rejection. Like, I feel like we can learn a lot from these kids in this hobby. You know, it's like, as adults, we're so conditioned to care what everybody around us thinks. And these kids don't. They're like, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, well, that didn't work. Let's try this. That didn't work. Let's try this. And that kind of mentality it's actually like refreshing when you really think about it. Because we spend so much time like just breaking down every deal that you do, and like making sure that like you're not ripping the other person off or they're not ripping you off, that sometimes you lose the joy. Like, I talk about this a lot, that I'm like, I don't even really like trading. I'm more of like, I go look at the card I want and then I buy it. I have a hard time because like the value is inherently what someone is willing to pay for it. So if I value a card at this much and somebody else values it this much, and we're trying to trade two entirely different cards, you know, Jeremy talks about this, like how he can argue that a card's worth this much, but he can equally argue that it's worth this much. So how do you know, and when you're an adult, you spend all of your time just like in your brain, like, is this working out? Where kids are just like, hey, I like your card. Do you like my card? Yeah, let's flip them. And that's it. Like, that's what we used to do when we were kids. You know, think about it like Halloween candy. Everybody dumps their candy out. You trade the ones you like and the ones you don't like, and then everybody moves on and eats their candy. Yeah. I don't know like what age or what part of your life you lose that, but I wish that I could get it back because it's fantastic.
Those parents that gave out like those brown and orange candies that are like taste like shit that nobody likes, fuck off.
He's still angry about it. He's still angry about it.
Like they were like in the wax paper. Who does that? Nobody likes those.
Or like when you buy the jumbo pack of like the sweet tarts and like all the shitty candy like that tastes like chalk, and then you pass that out like you're doing something. Like I would rather have no candy from you than a giant handful of your cheap garbage candy. Just let's
Correct.
not.
Turn off your lights. Don't answer the door because now you wasted my time. I exerted energy and effort to go knock, say trick or treat because I'm prim and proper. I don't
Dress
just open
up.
the damn bag. Correct costume, and then you give me this bullshit ass candy that I can't pawn off on even the stupidest of my colleague.
I'm never going to be able to trade this. Halloween candy is a perfect analogy for cards. You have the neighborhoods, the doors that you open where you get the full-size candy bars, and then you have the houses that have the little like crappy candy or like the worst, like a toothbrush or like a pencil. Can you imagine? But the worst is when you go to a big house and they give you cheap candy. Like it's like opening a National Treasures and getting junk.
Yeah. Speaking of National Treasures, 4K.
Oh, you fucking professional.
I know she's over here. She's doing segment changes on us.
Wow. She said, boys, this is getting stale. We're moving on to the next one.
Stale like cheap Halloween candy. Oh.
Hey, so 4,200 and the shit sold out fast, right? Mm-hmm. Sold out. Some awesome looking cards coming out of there.
Yeah, if you like Christmas sweaters.
Don't you have a National Treasure?
No, not a National Treasure. We have
No,
it's a National Treasure card.
This is the original. So this was National Treasures before National Treasures. Now I'm actually going to put this up on eBay. I saw that these cards are taking off now. It's now an NT product. So I'm going to put this up probably like 3,500 OBO. Smash that bin. Get that NT, the OG NT. This is going to be what 2012 Prism is to the hobby. This is going to be that for NT.
That's crazy that we got some people that are like obsessed, like drug addicts that are buying these cases at 4K and getting Christmas sweaters and being
box.
Oh, box. Sorry. Yeah. They're buying boxes at 4K and getting Christmas sweaters, and they're fine with it. And I like Lamine. I reposted the link. Did you guys see Squid Games?
Yes.
It's like Jeremy didn't see it. He doesn't like it.
He likes Squid Games. He watched.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. That's the one show that he watched.
Because there's
murder and carnage in it.
Yeah, murder.
And debt.
Yeah.
No, that is definitely what it seems like is these people that are higher up are just buying it out, or breakers, breaking it. But how pissed would you be if you open it and got a Christmas sweater? And it in the back, this is not player worn, player associated, game worn. Like
they didn't even wear it. They just went to Target and bought a Christmas sweater and cut it up and was like, "Here you go."
Yeah, and put a sticker auto on it and said,
"To me, that's just like." I try so hard. I try so hard not to say like a lot of negative stuff. When the whole Topps autograph thing happened, I took a positive spin. Like, hey, they like owned this mistake. They're making it right for people, because people are like, oh, how can I ever trust anything that they sell? I'm like, when it was questioned, it was like clearly fake. They didn't be like, oh, or brush it under the rug or act like ignore it. They owned it. They came out and they're like, yes, this is a thing that happened, and we're gonna correct it for anyone who had it happen to them. And I was like, where everyone else is like, this is bad for the hobby. I'm like, actually, like we've had, stuff like this going on for years where like questionable autographs, but never before were they like, yes, this is fake and we're going to handle it. This is the first time I've ever seen a card company like fully take ownership of a fake autograph. So to me, I was like, I'm going to take the opposite. I'm not going to be like, this is bad for the hobby. I'm going to be like, this is good for that. It's good that they're owning these mistakes. I'm going to say that this shit with National Treasures, this is bad for the hobby. This is just as bad as those Topps stupid little helmets that they're putting in the Topps cards now with like the little helmet. Like, unless I get a numbered autograph one of those, I don't want one. And I don't know why this is the thing. Why are we putting like toys inside sports cards and calling them a hit?
Yeah, and then
because they can, and they will continue to do so, and people
as long as people pay $4,000 for a box of it.
It reminds me of the GIF of Dave Chappelle when he's like itching, like he's on drugs and he's itching his neck. I feel like that's what people are when they're buying these boxes like at 4K.
And you just have to remember, some of those people, not all, but some of those people, a 4K box to them is what a $400 box would be to common folk like us.
Yeah.
Well, or even like a $40 box, depending on the person who's buying it.
Did you see the news of the redemptions too? They're basically saying screw it. If they consider it low end, they're just, we're not giving you anything for it.
Yeah, it was about a couple weeks ago because no, they found some gray area where a lawyer, like, it's bad for
really, because it's so weird that they can do that because they basically sold something that doesn't exist. And that seems like illegal.
You go into the app, and I always go in routinely, like every few weeks or a month, and I ask for an update, knowing that they're never going to respond, but at least I've got a track record. And the other day I was like, there was this redemption from 2013, 2014. I don't even remember the player, but it was like, it's been fulfilled. You get 150 Panini points. And I was like, okay. And we've been buying up some Justin Fields. And I'm like, man, I hope they fulfill this. Otherwise, I'm spending all this money on eBay for something that I'll never get. And I don't want 150 Panini points.
At least I think Justin Fields at this moment is probably high end enough that it should get, I'm so sick of paying for high end Panini things and getting Panini points. Like, I don't take your Panini points and keep them. I don't. Like, I'd rather light my box on fire than open another one and have Panini points in it.
Well, and this is the kicker, man. This is the thing that pisses me off the most is you got enough Panini points, right? You get them here and there that you're like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and buy the rest of the Panini points so the next time there's a white sparkle pack drop, I'll be able to get it. And the last one they actually did a Dutch auction you could buy with cash. So I'm like, what the hell is the point of the Panini points? It's mad frustrating, yo.
There's no point to just buy the Panini digital. It seems like
you should call them Panini pointless.
Yeah, they pretty much are. I just got.
Jerry's like.
And it was great having you, Courtney. You can sit on the couch, and I will see.
You're like my dad jokes. Sorry.
I just got my Panini Redemption fulfilled, and it was a Fernando Tatis that I got a couple years ago when he was hot, right? They gave me 1,000 Panini points, and I'm like, you need to. When I submitted that needs to be when you give me, like, you need to take the value of that card when I actually submitted it, and it was a non-licensed, but it was like one of those hits, like numbered out of 99 auto. And I was like, okay, that's a couple $100. Nope. 1,000 Panini points is like $50. So I don't know what to do with it.
Cry. That's all you can. Like, you're like under the gun with these things. Like, we don't have, that's the thing about collecting when you don't have a say, and it's either you're going to collect what they put out or you're not. And, at this point we all are. So, like, we can bitch about it, but there's really not, unless people stop buying it, which isn't going to happen either. They'll just keep putting it out there because it's really consumer driven and we're consuming it. So they're going to keep printing it and giving it to us.
Yeah, of course. I do want to switch to more like news in the hobby, like kind of the positive news. You guys were selling on Whatnot, right? Whatnot Live. It seems like more other companies, bigger companies, are actually trying to do the same thing as Whatnot. The news came out that eBay is coming out with the live marketplace. I'm curious on what you think, because you guys were sellers on Whatnot. I like Whatnot. I buy on it all the time, but it seems like every day there's like hundreds of more sellers that are coming on to their actual platforms, but it kind of seems like it could get oversaturated at a point.
It's already oversaturated.
Yeah. So, I mean, now you have different places that you could sell live. There's network as well. Is this going to help the help like the sellers on whatnot, on eBay, on network?
I think it's going to help the buyers. I don't think it's going to help the sellers.
Well,
I think it'll be better for the buyers.
That's true.
The more competition there is, and the more areas where you can, go to look for the same stuff, you have the opportunity to get a better deal. When you have a brand new buyer, a brand new seller on any platform, they don't have an audience. So smart people aren't the ones that are going into the things like who have huge followings. If you're smart and you're buying on those kind of platforms, you're bouncing around to the smaller sellers, the new sellers, the people who are trying to build their name and get a deal. That's where you're gonna do it. You always get your crazy ones like that guy who was like didn't sell his crap. He had like 30 people in his feed and started calling people names or whatever because the shit didn't sell the way you wanted it to. Like that is a risk you're taking as a seller. And the more sellers there are on these platforms, the easier things become available, the less liquid they be, more liquid for the buyer, less liquid for you, because you don't have that seller's edge. It used to be back in the day, you had to go to shows or card shops to buy cards, and that was it. Like those were the only places you're gonna go. You're gonna walk your little happy ass down to the card shop. You're gonna pay the card shop owner whatever the hell insane price or cheap price, insane at the time, but now looking back, it was cheap, that they want for their cards or their wax, and then you go home and that's it. Then eBay came in and you're like, oh, now you can buy on eBay. And that was like a huge game changer. I was like, oh, this is going to change the hobby. And then now you have Whatnot, Drip, Network, eBay is doing their thing, PWCC, Golden, all these places, everywhere you can buy cards. I could literally go on for 25 minutes about all the places you can buy cards. So the more places you can buy cards, the more readily available they become. The only ones that are valuable are the ones that are scarce. And if you're smart, you're not going on these sites where you have 100 plus people in the room with you bidding on a card that's worth $20 and everyone's like, they want it. And you get those. I fell for it this week. I ego bid myself up way over what I should have paid for something because I wanted it and it was there in front of me in that moment. But there was too many other people bidding on it. And so going into these, go ahead. Sorry, I'm just rambling.
No,
but I
was
really
just
think
say it would. Back to your point about scarcity, there was only one other one available, and you had the opportunity to win that box in that moment, and you jumped all over it. And whatever happens with future boxes, so be it. I will say the people who I think are going to have a leg up, who, let's face it, 2 years ago, the hobby was a difficult water to navigate. There was a lot of stuff. It's overwhelming. Now there's platforms everywhere. Courtney didn't even touch on buying on Instagram, Twitter, buy, sell, trade threads, the numerous amount of Discord threads, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. So if you're patient and you can look and you're a little bit well-versed, the opportunity to buy right now is so tremendous. Like it was so tremendous that I even suggested to Courtney, maybe we don't go to the National and all the money that we're going to stay for room and board, for gas, for meals, all that stuff. I mean, we can buy a lot right now because you post a card on one platform. Most people don't even know it's there. They don't even know how to navigate it. Like we are entrenched in the hobby, and there's certain platforms that I just don't have enough hours in the day to use. So therefore I don't use it.
Yeah. People message me all the time. Are you guys on this platform? Do you use this? One I keep hearing about is Loop. I haven't tried that yet. Have you tried it, Manny?
I have a good friend that actually is a seller on there. And what it is it's more like a card shop. That's virtual. Like he has his hobby boxes all set up, and then people just go use Apple Pay and they buy the hobby box and he rips them, or he just sits there and waits for someone to buy. So it's like a store, a virtual store.
Oh, so you just sit there like you're at your work, but okay. Yeah, I haven't tried it. I've had like a lot of people ask me if we're on loop, and I'm like, I've heard like sort of it, but I haven't tried it. It's just there's so much, and we try everything, but like Jeremy was saying, there's you only have so many hours in a day, and when you're out there looking for something that you want, if you don't know all the avenues to go, and you're on Whatnot, and one of these people with like 10 million followers is like selling it, and you're like, this is the first time I've seen this, and I've been looking for it, and then you start bidding. You bid, and I've seen cards that are not worth what they're selling for sell for insane amounts on Whatnot, and I've also seen cards that are worth a lot more sell for way less because it's like a smaller, less well-known person who's selling them, and they only have like 15 people in their room. Meanwhile, you have like other people with like 100 plus selling $5 cards for 20. So it's really, you have to do in any of these, you have to do your due diligence. But I don't think it's good or bad, for the hobby. Everyone's like, I feel like it's so like minimizing to put something in is this good for the hobby or is this bad for the hobby? Because it can easily be both. It can easily be both things at the same time. So trying to like put it in a box, like this is bad for the hobby or this is good. There are some things where you can we can agree this is bad, and it's bad across the board. Sexism is bad in the hobby. Racism is bad in the hobby. Like theft is bad. Stealing is bad. But like a fake autograph that was like fixed, not bad. Panini points, they suck. Are they bad for the hobby? No. Are they bullshit? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it gonna ruin the hobby if you get Panini points in a box? It might ruin your experience, and maybe you won't, buy that type of card again or that box again, or maybe you'll switch. Like that will be the moment where you're like, buying wax is a waste of fucking money, and I need to like do something else. And so for you, that could end up being a good experience in the hobby, because you're like, all of a sudden it's like ding, 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 ripping wax is gambling. And so I should just go buy the cards I'm looking for rather than wasting all my money on wax. And so it could be either.
Buying wax. Let's talk about it. Because you just bought something. And it's a waste of money. So I want you to explain what you just bought and why you say it's a waste of money.
Oh, this is so I'm really putting my ass out on this one because this is going to be embarrassing. Everyone who still has Stranger Things boxes, you're welcome, because I just totally blew the price point of the season 1. I jacked it up for you. They're much more valuable now.
Yeah.
So
Courtney's a big believer in do what I say, not do what I do.
No, so I'm usually very fiscally responsible when it comes to the card stuff. I'm like, we budget. I'm like, if I'm going to buy this, then I can't buy this. I wanted these, and I don't like often where I'm like, I want this. And Jeremy can attest to that. There's not a lot where I'm like, I have to have this. And these Stranger Things cards, I love the show. I'm very into it. My daughter Amelia is super into it too, and I think like part of me, I think maybe is like the Stranger Things cards, and like can be something because she's starting to get older where she's like, the card stuff, like it's fun occasionally, but it's not like my thing. And so like in my mind, I'm like, oh, she loves Stranger Things. We binge watch it together. This is our thing. So maybe this is something I can like draw her back with me into this. Maybe that's part of it. But the other part is I genuinely like it. And so, but I'm very late on it because we're in like the next season is the season finale, right? So as far as like buying collectibles for it, which I've never bought collectibles for a show ever in my I was a huge fan of Harry Potter. I never bought a Harry Potter card. I never. This is the first show where I was like, hey, I'm really engaged. I want autographs from the people. I want the cards. I want to like the little pieces of the shirts that they wore in the show. Like this is all stuff that I want. So I started looking for season 1 because I want to go each season. And I can't find it. I've talked to my friends who have, allocations. I've talked to everyone at card shows. I posted about it on all my social media. And I don't have we don't have a gigantic following, but we have a pretty decent sized following. I didn't get a single person who was like, hey, I got a box of that. I could post that I need Contenders, or I need, Prism, or I need Top Chrome Soccer. And I'll have 17 people like, hey, I got some. And maybe it's stupid prices, but I have people being like, I have some, I'll sell it to you. Not a single person had a box of season 1 Stranger Things. So I found 2 boxes on eBay. They ended a day apart. And I looked at what they were selling for. I'm like, okay, I'm willing to go over that because I want this box. And it went way more than what I thought it was. I mean, you can look, our name is you can see the last 2 boxes, you can see that I bought it. It ended up being $400 and something. 400, I think they went for $72 when they first came out. And I paid 400 and after shipping, I was $479 or some insane. So there was another box that it was ending the next day. And I'm as I'm bidding on this, I'm if this one goes, and it was going up and up and up. And in my mind, I'm if this one goes this high, when this one tomorrow sells, it's going to sell for even more, because people are fighting for this box. And I'm I have to have it. I can't, if it goes higher than this tomorrow, then I'm going to be out. I can't, I have to be responsible. So I bought it. Fucking next day, then one sold for $370, a whole $100 less than what I paid for my box. So I'm looking at this, and I look at it 2 ways. I wanted it. I can afford to buy it now. But my thing is and my initial thing was I wanted to rip it. But now I'm should I just hold it and then buy a hobby box for each season and then go buy the singles that I want? And then I can have a box of each season plus all the autographs for the main characters, because I don't want Dustin's mom autograph. And if I rip this box that I paid $500 for and that's my hit, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. I don't want Dustin's mom.
No, you're not. You're gonna have fun, and I'd like to, as the good husband that I am, I brought it home because Miss Thang over there was swimming in the pool, and I made it a point to get on and do what I do best, and that's snipe at auctions. Made sure I brought it home. She's got the box. They're gonna do TikToks with it. She's gonna have fun. And so to me, it's it's whatever. If she gets hits, that's great. I'm happy for her, but she's gonna have fun, and that's important. What's also important to me is you've been on a dry spell for a long time. And the other night I was trying to sleep because I have a job. I'm not, CBS doesn't pay me the money that they're paying you to do the Thicc pod. But you were excited, man. You won a bunch of cards.
Oh yeah, I was I texted you before. It was a PWCC weekly auction. I texted you before and I said, I'm about to get this card. And there's a reason why I got it. I could pull it up right now. I got 2 of them. Let's see. I'll add the stream. This is my first one. It's a Conte card. I don't know if you guys know who this guy is. He plays for Chelsea, which is my favorite team, but he's the most chill player on the team. Very positive guy. Won a World Cup with France. Won a Premier or Champions League with Chelsea. I really wanted him. I might start having him as my PC. But the main card that I really wanted, let me find it.
That Conte's nice in that new CSG slab.
Yeah, I actually like the new CSG slabs. I wasn't a super fan of the old ones.
Me neither. I do like how it's the color of it. I don't know. I might just keep it in there and just keep it. But
CSG is it's picking up, They beat out BGS now for sale prices, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think sale prices. I think they're reviewing the second most cards on a daily basis.
Oh, that's
behind PSA.
You're right. But they're very well respected. They do a good job with grading, and now that their labels aren't so hideous lime green, I would buy CSG now. And for me, sometimes aesthetics are important, especially for PC, because CSG would be something that I would buy a card that I really like, but I don't want to pay maybe PSA prices for. but know that it's like legit, it's well graded, and it's in a good case, and now it's not ugly too. So
yeah, for sure. But do you think with the news of BGS buying PWCC, or not buying, but they're partnering with PWCC, same with CSG. So PWCC, if you didn't heard the news, has CSGs where you could grade. It sends it to PWCC and they'll put it on the weekly auction. And then now they just came out in news and they're doing the same thing with BGS. So it seems like they're trying to get every grading company to have this type of service. So I don't know if that's going to change the BGS market. Because right now it kind of went down, but I don't know.
I don't know, because CSG also does the authentication through eBay. So
yeah, that's true. This is my one that I really wanted. And Karim Benzema, he plays for Real Madrid, striker, one of the best strikers in the world. This is his true rookie card. And what it is, it's a playing card, kind of like Pokemon. They used to play these type of games with this type of card. So there's only 9 of them, PSA 9. There's no 10s because the back is all black. So it's tough grade, right? And everyone's playing with them. So the pop count's not going to go any higher. But I don't see these often. And I was like, this is the one I sent to Jeremy. And I was like, I'm buying this card. And I was hoping, because we talk, and I was talking to you, Courtney, too. I was like, what cards are you guys looking for? Because do not try to outbid me on this card, because I'm going to keep going. I'll let you have other cards, but do not outbid me on this card. So I'm really pumped to get this in my hands. This is probably going to be a long-term hold, with him being one of the best strikers in the world. Like I said, he played for France as well, won a World Cup. So I'm happy to have my 2 purchases. And yeah, I was on a dry spell. I was losing eBay auctions by $1 or cents, 50 cents. I lost one this weekend for 50 cents. So I was pretty pumped about these 2 buys. But Jeremy, I know you, did you want to explain some of your recent purchases?
Yeah, no, I would just say the Benzema, that's a dope card. And I wonder, those rankings, can you go back to the card?
Yeah, let me share. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. There you go.
Now, where it's got like the offense, defense, technique, power, speed. Was that his rating at the time, or what they thought like his potential was?
Like,
I would assume they're ranking right now. I don't know, but I would assume the ranking right now, because it has offense
in 2005, right?
Yeah, in 2005. And it's just crazy that I was so pumped. Like, I was telling everyone about this card. It's one of the ones that I actually love I've been looking for this card for a couple months for a good price, and getting it just makes me enjoy the hobby, getting back into it. Now I'm spending money on whatnot, and I've been saving money for the national. Now I'm screwed buying into breaks. It's not a good thing. I need to stay off whatnot for a while, but
well, yes. I'm happy for you. I'm sure, like, I know I could tell that when you won the card, there was like a real sense of enthusiasm, because you had to hunt for it, man. It wasn't easy. It didn't just come naturally to you.
It's a rare card too, so that's nice.
Oh yeah,
it was a good get. I look forward to seeing it in person, because I've actually never seen one of those before. So like seeing the all black back looks.
I'm hoping to get it in by national. I shipped it to me just to show at national how excited I am about it.
Yeah, and before we move on, I think it's exciting. I don't know the details, and I would encourage everybody to make sure they do their own homework. But is the 10-day BGS grading with subgrades for $50? Once you get your cards graded, does it have to go directly into auction, or do you have the opportunity to get those cards back?
I was reading the comments because people wanted to vault them, and I don't think they have that option right now. I think it goes right to auction.
I think that's part of like the deal with it. Like, if you're agreeing, it's because of their partnership or whatever. So if you agree to get it graded and then it goes to their,
I think we're climbing towards an epic cage match where you have over here you've got Golden and PSA, and then over here you've got PWCC and BGS, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean, what's stopping PWCC grabbing SGC as well? And just
eBay is going to have to like buy SGC so that they can, compete. Because you get to a point. What are you going to do? eBay's still king
I mean,
when it comes to that kind of stuff, but not for high end, man. I don't you like you pull a card, you don't see people being like, "Oh, I'm going to put this on eBay and sell my $100,000 card." That like that's not even a thing anymore. It's going to Golden, it's going to PWCC. It's times are changing and things are shifting. That's what I was talking about. Like the more options you have, the better it is for the buyer, because you know where you want to go to find these things that you want.
Yep.
If you're looking in like a 10,000 to $1 million card, you're not going to go look for that on eBay. And if you have a card like that, you're certainly not going to sell it there.
One thing that I never understood, and this is as a result of me being an idiot a few years ago, I never understood what was the need with eBay when you have eBay readily available, why you would go to a premier auction with PWCC or with Golden. And I actually think there's a lot of people that truly don't understand what the difference is there. With eBay, let's say you get the best deal, like they're taking 10 to 15% based on who you are. Maybe somebody like Probstein, it would be a little bit less, or the Wharf back when he was in business. But when you go through an auction house, you can get more than the card actually sells for. You can get 100% of the sale, plus, depending on what you negotiate, a little bit of the buyer's premium. And so I just thought I'd throw that out there. We didn't discuss it or anything like that, but it was just something I never understood, again, because I'm a dumbass. But yeah, that's why you would take those big ticket items over there.
Well, you also have you can negotiate contracts, right? They have specific contracts of like what is a 20% buyer's premium? Like I get 15% of that if I'm going to have an expensive card on your auction, or 10%. I know Liquid All. I know we kind of brought them up in a couple episodes in the past, but you get 75% of your comps once they load in your card into auction. So sellers like that idea because they get their 75 comps they could spend on this auction that's currently going on. Because with all, you kind of have to have your money in your account. So having that 75% of comps, and then they refund, like say it sells for 90% of their comps, then they'll ship the rest or send you the rest after the auction. But that's a perk, right? That not everyone does.
It's like getting your tax back early.
Yep. I would also add that I believe Alt did away with having the money preloaded in your account. I think that's something that happened recently.
Okay.
I
thought it was like a certain value.
I'm sure if you're trying to bid on
you're smarter than me.
No, you're smart. You're pretty smart. But yeah, show us what you bought, Jeremy. You're always buying stuff. Courtney got the Stranger Thing hobby box. I got my PWCC wins. What did you get?
So this is something Courtney and myself have been working on for a while, and I'll try to be as short as possible. We had somebody reach out to us, and they had a Patrick Williams card that we both saw and we both instantly wanted. And the conversation was essentially like how much, and the guy really wasn't interested in cash. He wanted football wax or certain football QBs.
And the football wax was going to be easy because we had a connection, but then our connection got COVID.
Yes.
So kind of do a wrench in our trading.
And this is right around the time when Mark pulls the Mac Jones. Yep. And so we had 2 boxes of optic contenders that were going to make up a good portion of the trade, which we were getting at a steal of a discount through our allocation. Unfortunately, guy gets COVID. Thank God his family's okay. So then we went on the hunt, and we spent a few weeks out looking at shows, taking pictures, trying to acquire football cards. Now, I've said that we sold all of our football prior to right around the Ship Shawana show and shifted our buying elsewhere. Well, if you notice, all of a sudden there was the Zach Wilson of 10. There was some other cards. We just picked up a Herbie PSA 9. Well, ultimately, 2 weeks ago at the Taylor show, and we got there with maybe a half an hour left. Most of the dealers were gone. There was a gentleman by the name of Nick. He's something Gucci. He's a great guy.
Gucci 3611.
Yeah, something like that. Just an awesome dude. Just so happened to have one showcase. This is all old Detroit shit, Al Kaline, crap. This guy had some modern stuff. And I saw an Optic Contenders on-card auto of Court.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, took a picture, and the guy's like, "That's the card I want. If you can get that card, we have a deal." So I go, "Okay, cool." So thank you. So what we do is we have a private chat going, and everybody's typing stuff to try to trip the other person up. And I've broke Courtney and Manny. I'll be damned if I let them break me. So we took a picture. We got home, and the guy's like, "That'll be it." So then we turned around and we had to talk to this guy and say, "Hey, look, here's the deal. I need to get that card. I'm using it just to trade. I understand, you have me over a barrel, if you will." And so this took like 2, 3, 4 weeks. And ultimately we acquired the Josh Allen, bought it, shipped it. And then yesterday, nobody's seen this yet because we're going to wait. But we've got this Patrick Williams, Panini.
That's
Panini sweet. one of one laundry tag of Patrick Williams.
Such a I get chills just looking at him. So
that's
excited.
sweet.
Our Patrick Williams collection is become so legit.
Yeah,
it's so we have so many good Patrick Williams cards. I am proud of us for the work we put into that collection. This kid needs to be good now though, so it's actually worth something.
Oh no, I'm definitely rooting for him.
He's gonna join my Kobe White collection that's sitting over there.
Markelle Fultz.
Oh no!
Oh yeah. No, but it was just. I'll just close with this. The fun thing about it is when it all came to fruition, and the package came and we opened it, we held it holy shit! This we actually did this, because it was at one point I'm like, how the hell is this? What are we gonna do? I can't find the card that he wants. And he was incredibly kind and thoughtful.
Such a nice person.
Just a nice person. But I was like, this guy has a taste, and I don't know if I can get there. Plus, we're trying to manage keeping cash available to buy wax, cash available for other lots that we're buying.
The National, it was just the expense of the National, because I am Reckless Cards money is Reckless Cards money, and Rec Klein money is Rec Klein money. And I don't like dipping into our money for card stuff. I'm if the card stuff can't support itself, then we can't get that card. That's just how it is. So occasionally when we have big things like the National coming up or big shows, we limit the amount of money that we can spend on other stuff, because we have 4 kids. We have to be responsible. And, we talk a lot about gambling and everything in the hobby, but you're buying little pieces of cardboard, and you shouldn't put yourself into debt over it. And you shouldn't not be able to pay your mortgage or your power bill or something because of it. So it's really important to us to do things responsibly. So it did. There was a chance that we could have lost out on this deal because it took us a long time to find what the guy wanted. And he could have been like, you know what, F it, I'm just going to sell this card. But it didn't work out that way. And the fact that it took the amount of time and energy and, real sweat equity to make this trade, all on Jeremy. Those two, he did all of this work. It was I get to enjoy the fruits of his hard labor with this one. It's sort of all the children that I've birthed for him that he gets to enjoy now.
Yeah.
Now he can do his work on doing this P-Will for me.
That's awesome. Well, we also before we get off of what we bought, we brought up in the past that we want to start a Thicc collection PC together, right?
Correct.
So Jeremy and I have 2, each week we're going to bring up a card that we bought. Hopefully I'll do it. I don't know if you want to do that, Jeremy, but of a Thicc athlete, we'll say. And my first
and this is in the most respectful manner. Correct?
Yeah.
I want to be clear that this is, there's nothing heinous or ill will or anything negative about this. This is coming from a place of love.
Yeah, for sure. Like my first player right here. So I know I have the Detroit Tigers hat on, but I'm a huge Red Sox fan. Growing up, I watched this player play, win a couple World Series for my team, came back from a 0-3 deficit and beat the Yankees. And he was a big factor. He was my thick ass boy, and David Ortiz, and it's his auto, and it's numbered out of 99. And it's a top. This is going to be my favorite. So I started off with a bang. This is one of my favorite players. It's not the steroids, so I don't want to hear anybody say steroids. He's just thick. He eats a lot. Leave him be. But yeah, one of my favorite players. I'm excited to have this card. And Jeremy, I know you had a good one too.
Yeah, no, this was actually born. We did a live break, a free break on Instagram, and we were ripping wrestling cards. And it was just so much fun because everybody comes out, everybody starts telling stories about 1-2-3 Kid, Razor Ramon, Heartbreak Kid. Courtney's talking about, her mom loving Ravishing Rick Rude and, Jake the Snake. And so it was so much fun. Well, there was a wrestler by the name of Otis, and everybody was like, oh, he's thick. And so every time we got an Otis card, it was thick. Well, we pulled this card, and I didn't know who the wrestler was, and her name was Dewdrop. And so we're like, oh, she's thick too. Again, I want to be clear, we're not being an ass. This is a term of endearment. So me and Courtney decided we're going to build the Dewdrop Rainbow. And obviously Prism came out. It was $7,000 a box. It was pumped to the moon. If you didn't have wrestling cards, you were an asshole. But we started buying the Dewdrop Rainbow. So the first card I'm going to show off tonight is the Dewdrop Gold, numbered out of 10. She's getting ready to drop a fucking elbow on somebody and finish it 1, 2, 3. Now, what's funny about this is the minute we said we were building this, every time there's a high-end Dewdrop card, instantly our DMs get flooded with people giving us eBay links.
Yes, yeah. They know we're.
And I'm not just talking about like no-name accounts. I'm talking like Thicc PC. I don't even do eBay searches anymore. I know Thicc is looking out for me. I know if there's a Dewdrop card, he's gonna make us fully aware of where it is.
Well, didn't she like Dewdrop one of
Yes, she's liked our posts and stuff. So that's like, it's super cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go. Mine is gonna be Hopper from Stranger Things in season 1 because he was thick. He was thick. If you watch it now, he's not as thick. Do
you have the card?
I don't have it. I'm gonna get
it. Box. It's an auto.
That doesn't count. Doesn't count.
It's right here.
No, it's gonna. That box has 11. 1 of 1, 11 in there.
1 of 1, 11, or like David Harbour. I would be okay. I love him. He is my celebrity crush right now. Is Hopper? Is that mustache? I don't know, man. I'm here for it.
You know whose card should be worth a lot? The girl that played in Beetlejuice. What's her name?
Winona Ryder.
Yeah, she's one of the famous actresses that.
So when I think about that, I have to like go back and see like were there like Casper cards or were there like oh no, that was Nick Ricci, not. I'm sorry, mixing up my dark-haired goth girls. No, but like Beetlejuice and stuff. Like because we had Yamwax on one of our things, and he was talking about a rookie card. Winona Ryder in Stranger Things, that wouldn't be a rookie card. And technically, David Harbour, he was what was that big red guy, Hellboy or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So like these aren't even his rookie cards. So you're looking at like 11, Millie Bobby Brown, Noah, the kid, Gatton, Dustin. Like these are going to be their rookie cards. If you're like, but some of these like the adult actors, they've been acting forever.
Yeah.
That's the nuance with pop culture cards. That's the nuance.
But you don't have the card in hand, so it doesn't count. So we're going to go ahead
and
bullshit.
Cut that out.
So we're
He's
running
just mad because I have the hots for him.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not at all mad. It's Courtney promised me a massage tonight, so I want to be respectful of her time. I don't need the I'm tired thing tonight.
I'm already tired.
So we've been doing the
I did 2 podcasts tonight.
That's it. We got OnlyFans after this, remember?
You stumped them.
So we're get to know your host. And Courtney, since you're on tonight, I'm going to go ahead and you're going to answer these questions as well.
Oh, no.
All right. All right. So do you want to go 1 through 10 each, or do you guys want to take each question one at a time? What do you think makes more fun?
One at a time.
One at a time.
All right.
We'll take turns on answers.
All right, Manny, you go first.
So it's me and you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this will be fun.
All right. What is the biggest meal you ever ate, and what happened afterwards?
Go ahead, Courtney.
I have to go first?
Yep. You're the guest.
Oh, God. The biggest meal I ever ate. The biggest meal I ever ate. We went to Tao in Vegas, and we didn't know what we were ordering, so we ordered like pretty much everything, but it was like really expensive. So I ate everything. Like I was like, I'm not gonna leave this. Like it was 2 of us, and I think the bill was like $400 and something, and I'm like, well, I'm eating every last drop of all of this food because I'm not. You're going back to your hotel room. I'm not gonna reheat it, so I ate it all. I felt like death. I then drank heavily, and we were in Vegas, so we smashed, and I was very full, and I probably am lucky I didn't break Jeremy's hips because I'm thick too, you know.
I will tell you, I don't want to steal any of this glory, but it was one of those things where you go and you're like, you've been swimming all day, you've been working, so you're really hungry, you're dressed really nice, you're feeling like, you know, a little svelte and sexy, and then you walk out and you fucking hate yourself because
I felt like I looked
that
pregnant.
kind of full.
I was like, oh, my dress is too tight. I'm like, I need to go back to the room and take this off. And then once I shake the dress off, there's no going back from there, pregnant looking or not.
No. All right, Mr. Manny.
The only thing that pops in my head is I ate like, see, I'm not high class. I ate like a Little Caesars pizza and a pizza and a half a pizza at one sitting, and I'm lactose. Sorry, Courtney.
Oh no.
I am sensitive to cheese.
I remember you telling me this.
Yep. So I ran. You say what happened afterwards? I almost pooped myself. I had to run to the bathroom and hurry up and handle my business.
Oh my god!
I was actually disappointed in just the pizza and a half because I really thought there was going to be something more epic. But the way you closed that story made it worthwhile.
If you're lactose intolerant, that much pizza that's a lot.
No, just one bite hurts it, but I had to stick it through for the pizza, the whole pizza.
All right, so we're gonna play a game of Fuck, Marry, Kill, and you're dealing with PSA, BGS, SGC.
Fuck, marry, kill. Okay, I'm gonna fuck SGC because they're young and hot and they're the new thing, right?
Dang it.
I'm gonna marry PSA because they got the money. I'm gonna kill BGS because they're old and nobody cares.
Oh boy.
Damn.
I like your answers. Now I don't want to say the same thing. So I'm gonna kill PSA because I got my recent submission and they're all 6s or 8s. So that kind of
fuck them.
Rage. So,
I like it.
I see. I'm gonna marry SGC because I think that they are actually on the uprise right now. A lot of people are starting to like them, and I want them to myself. So I'm gonna marry them. And what's that left? Just fuck BGS because I get subgrades. So I know.
You fuck BGS because they've been around the block. They know a thing or two.
Yeah, they know what they're
doing.
My wife's older than me, so I could say that.
It's like that old thing, like if you have a good time with your girlfriend, thank me.
Yeah.
Favorite boy band and why?
Well, NSYNC, Lance Bass. That's it.
Dang, mine's actually Backstreet Boys because I was obsessed with trying to be Brian as a kid. I dyed my hair and everything.
Didn't he end up like with?
I have no idea, but I remember I was trying to do the dances and everything.
I thought he had cancer.
Oh, did he?
I'm not
Brian?
sure. I was not a huge fan of Backstreet Boys.
Nick
Carter's a monster of a human. So I was
yeah.
like, he's a terrible person.
So is his
least favorite movie ever?
Brazil.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
My dad's favorite movie, and he makes me watch it I think I've watched it 4 times in my life, and every time I feel like I think it's like a 90-hour movie, and it's just like I feel like you probably need to be on acid or LSD or like some kind of heavy drugs for it to make sense, and I just don't do those. My dad doesn't either. He still just loves that movie. It's so bizarre, and it's so weird, and it's so long, and it's
yeah. We tried drinking it fun, which me and Courtney can do for damn near anything,
almost anything.
And I got into it. And I'm like, I hate my life right now. And all I did was I just got my my father-in-law all hyped up, like, yeah, we're going to watch this movie. We're going to rage. We're going to have a good time. And then it was on, and I'm like, what the hell?
I'm super glad my dad doesn't listen to podcasts because I would feel bad if he ever knew that I hated the movie.
That movie sucks. Damn, that movie sucks. Sorry. I tell you because I care.
We're clipping it. No, mine was, I mean, if you listen to our show, you know, Jeremy and I say that we're not the smartest on the tree. We're pretty smart, but we're not the smartest. So mine was Inception because my mind was like rattled watching that, and I felt even dumber than what I actually am watching that. I didn't understand it, and people were understanding it around me, and it just made me upset. So
I've never even seen it still.
Everyone likes it. Don't do it. So your mind's gonna be.
I feel like everyone talks about it occasionally. I'm like, I never saw it.
Court, what were we watching the other night? We were watching a movie with our son, and it was like a movie where you had to pay attention. It was like 2.5 hours. He got into like 20 minutes. He's like, can I go to bed? It's like, no, dude, we're watching a movie as a family. And he's like, it just doesn't make sense. I'm like, oh,
I don't know what's happening. Like, oh no, it was Girl on the Train. It was Girl on the Train.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of because I watched that on repeat because my daughters.
Oh.
I liked it at first, and now it's getting old.
Yeah.
All right.
Least favorite Disney movie for me is Pocahontas because it's so racist.
Yeah, you're right. It is. When you're young, you didn't realize it until now.
I hate that song where they're like, savages, barely even human.
They took it out for it. It's not on Disney anymore. They got rid of it because it's so racist.
They should. What is your best miss ever related to cards? What is your best miss ever related to cards?
Go first, Manny.
All right. Trading my when I first got in the hobby, what actually got me into it is I was in a break and got a Luka Doncic gold mosaic out of 10. It was 1 out of 10, so it's the second year. It was a BGS 9.5. It was the highest grade through PSA only had 9s, and Beat Mine was the highest BGS grade. And it was actually the first print. And I know people don't really care. Some people don't care, but it was 1 out of 10. And it was special to me. Trading that for two Kobe, I like Kobe, but trading that for a Kobe Topps Finest with the coating, because that card, right when I traded it, the card just plummeted. But I got a Kobe card out of it. But I'm a big Mavs fan. I should have just kept my Luka card as for my PC.
So let me rephrase this. What is the best deal that never came to fruition for you, sir?
Oh, for misses, I get it. Yeah, I totally answered that wrong.
So
Courtney,
for me, I'm going to give you an example. There was one night, the first of the weekly auctions for PWCC, I bid on like 75 things, and I just felt like nobody knows about this. There's going to be a tremendous opportunity, and I won a ton. Well, there was 2 Kobe white cards. One of them was like maybe numbered out of 39, PSA 10, pop 1 or 2. Another one was like numbered out of 10. And both those auctions, I was probably more than I wanted to, but I got caught up in the moment. And I got to like $1,500, $1,600 on each card, which I was not prepared or was anticipating to spend that night because I'd already just won like 20, 30 other cards. Yeah. And ultimately I walked away. And at this moment, those cards are probably worth 25% of what I would have paid. So that was the best miss I've ever had.
See, mine wouldn't be my miss. Because what I do is I don't sell. So I don't sell at the peak. So is that a miss? Like me not selling it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, for example, I had like 10 or 12 job Prism bases, and it went like they were at $800 at one point. And I just held on to them, and now they're like $100 PSA 10s. So those are, I guess that's missed, right? I bought them.
Yeah.
Not really. Gosh, now let me get back.
What's something that you would have done?
I was in an auction on Facebook. They were like doing like sports cards, and we had just gotten back from Vegas. And I was like, all like, oh, I like everything Vegas, right? I'm going to do Vegas stuff. And there was like Henry Ruggs RPA auto on card, beautiful card, right? And it was starting to get high, but it wasn't like super high. And I was like, I put in a bid on it, and I was like, I was like, kind of like here, like this team could be something. And I don't know, I fell asleep or I stopped watching it or I got distracted, I'm not sure, and it sold. And like 4 days later was when all that shit happened. So I totally was like, it was such a pretty, it was a really good miss. It was like, it was a really good miss because I was like convinced that, you know, after seeing how like amped up everyone was for the games and how excited people were, and this was like a really nice card and it wasn't very expensive at all, like not what it should have been going for like, because it was on a Facebook auction, and for like, you know, he had a little hype behind him, and I missed that, and then that was a good miss.
I totally messed up the question. Now I understand it. Because of Courtney. This is why you got to go first, Courtney.
Sorry.
No, mine. I got it now. So I'm a big Michigan State fan, right? Big Michigan State fan. I started PCing Jaren Jackson Jr.
Do you have to go potty, buddy?
No,
do you have to go potty? You're bouncing around there.
If I fall off, it's just my phone, my computer's about to die. Okay. So.
No, so yeah, Jaren Jackson Jr. was my guy. And I was going to start getting into Miles Bridges this summer. And the news came out that now he's a felon and he was charged with domestic violence and something with his kids. So me not buying heavy on Miles Bridges is a good miss. Boom. I got the answer right.
That was it. You got it.
Favorite dessert?
Oreos with milk. Yeah, like Fairlife milk because my stomach can't handle regular milk.
Key lime pie.
All right. You are the general manager of the hobby. What's one improvement you make to make it a more enjoyable experience for everybody?
Go ahead, Courtney.
Oh, okay. So, just one?
One thing.
My first order of business would be no more non-game used relics or sticker autos. Number one.
That was mine after I should have went first. I think there's a lot of negative in the hobby, right? Kind of mine, like, dang it, now I got to think on the spot. I'm not good at this.
I would say banning trolls from
that's
hobbies.
Exactly what I'm thinking is like banning trolls, because in all, like the hobby is fun. It's a hobby, and we're all like,
nobody hates collecting sports cards more than people that collect sports cards. I swear to God.
Exactly, and it just seems like people are just trying to take it down with negativity that, like you said in the beginning, that isn't really negative. They just want to be negative. So that would be my first thing, is trying to take those negative people and make it a positive.
All right. Two more.
Okay.
First one. What is an unpopular opinion that you have about anything?
I don't want to answer this one.
LeBron James is overrated. Drake's overrated. Ice cream sucks. Cake sucks. Is that good?
That was a lot.
Good.
Yeah. Mine would be unpopular opinion. Rich athletes who have a platform are going to use their platform, and you can say shut up and dribble. You don't matter. They do. So you just shut up and stay behind your keyboard, I guess. That's my unpopular opinion.
Damn. All right. And we'll bring it back to cards. National treasures, flawless, or other?
I like select because I'm not rich folk.
I'm going other too. I'm going like Court Kings for sure.
Yeah, I like select pre-2020.
Court Kings, I like them. They're artistic. I think they're underrated. I think flawless and national treasures are overrated, and clearly they are.
I think Panini and One needs to start getting some love.
There you go.
Pumping my own card. Pumping my own card.
You're right. No, but you're not the only one saying that. People are coming around. I'm still being a hipster with my my Court Kings shit. The Panini one. That's people are starting to take notice of that.
Stickers. I like stickers a lot, but that's just a soccer thing.
And Garbage Pail Kids. Garbage Pail Kids are stickers.
Yeah. So I like stickers too.
They're Courtney, cheap. We want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. You truly are all the good that comes with this podcast and everything that Reckless does. And I'm lucky to be teammate with you. I'm lucky to be your husband.
Oh, my sweet husband. I love you so much.
You're lucky that you get to sleep with me tonight. So it's just everybody's winning.
Anytime you need me to come on here and add a little spice.
Yeah, our views are going to go through the roof now. Watch.
Oh, because I showed my T-shirt.
No, we're going to get comments that say, Courtney, let's kick off Manny and Jeremy and just have Courtney on the podcast. But I do want to thank you because for being like the backbone of this podcast. You're the one that kind of pushed us to do it. You're handling the TikToks. You tell us to do a TikTok. We're doing a TikTok. Jeremy, aka, you better go do it today.
Yes.
And you you give us like the marketing ideas because you know marketing, we really don't.
Well, I'm proud of you guys, and I love this, and I'm here for the long haul. So when you guys are super famous, don't forget me.
You're the famous one. We're just riding up your coattail.
Court, where can everybody follow you?
Oh, you can follow me at Reckless Cards on all of my social media platforms. If you would like to follow Reckless Cards on Twitter, it's not me, it's Jeremy, but also Reckless Cards on everything. So wait, my little logo in the background, it always looks like that.
Jeremy effed up the username on Twitter.
That's why that's the only one that he was responsible for. One fucking job. One job. And we get Reckless_cards on that one platform.
He hates it.
I'm trying to be PG because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab her. I'm going to whisper something in her ear and it's going to be game over. See? And that reaction tells you all you need to know because I am the player from the Himalayas, of which I've got my 3-year-old walking around the house saying, I'm a player from the Himalayas. And when our older kids get in trouble, they go, Daddy, Stephen not a player from the Himalayas. I'm like, no, baby. Yeah, he's not.
Well, on that note, let the Reckless family have some fun. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed your hobby release.